Hi guys, welcome back to our Express Pilates class. My name is Chris Neeson. I'm an exercise physiologist and clinical Pilates instructor. Hope you've been enjoying the classes as much as I've been enjoying teaching them. We're going to get stuck straight in today, coming down on the mat, lying on your back. In this position, we're going to be lying flat. Just going to start with some pelvic tilting. We've done this before in the class. We're tilting our pelvis forward so to arch that space under your lower back. You can see my lower back coming up there. Then we want to flatten that back down. That's coming from your pelvis, tilting back and then tilting forward. So I want you to try that. The head will be relaxed, the shoulders will be relaxed. Feel that space under your lower back. Try and flatten that down as much as you can. Tucking your tailbone. Think if you had a tailbone, tucking it between your legs. And then reversing that, tilting forwards and arching up that space. Tilting your pelvis back. We'll do a couple more. Flattening out the lower back, tilting it forwards and arching it up. It's really nice to build that awareness and that control over your pelvis. A lot of our strength around our core starts at the pelvis, so if we're unable to control that, if we're not sure what's happening there because we don't have that control over it, we're going to find it really hard to control the rest of our body. And just one more in either direction, tilting forwards as far as you can, and then tilting back. I want you to practice that a little bit more as you go throughout the week. We're going to move on now. I want you to tilt back, so we're flattening the lower back. Think about pressing it down onto the mat, so all that space under there is gone. Tailbone is tucked, pelvis tucked. We're holding this position. Keep your back flat and bring the leg up into tabletop. Hold, keep your back flat, bring your second leg up. First leg down, second leg down. I want you to feel that lower back down on the mat again. Make sure it's pressed down, bring your leg up. As your second leg comes up, make sure you keep that pressure of your lower back down the mat and it's not arching up or lifting up. We can alternate legs as we go, so if you came up on the right last time, start with the left this time. To help keep your lower back down, we're going to think about engaging our deeper abdominal muscles. Bring your leg up, we've got our belly button drawn in, tighten that belly button in and keep that pulled down as the second leg comes up. We're not tensing, we're not working as hard as we can. It's just a very gentle activation of those deeper abdominals. Belly button drawn in, coming up, up, and down, and down. Couple more. Lower back's flat, belly button's drawn in, coming up, up, down, down. If you're finding this hard to control, you can just go back to one leg, up and down, and the other leg up and down. Practice it throughout the week, get better at this exercise. It's really important that we can stabilize our pelvis. And last one, bringing the legs up and then lowering back down. Keeping your lower back flat, we'll keep going with this idea. Flatten the lower back out, hands supporting the back of the neck. We're going to come up into a crunch and then rolling back down. The elbows will stay out wide. Curling up, rolling back down. We're just going to do a few of these crunches coming straight up and down. So warming up your abdominals. As you curl up, think about drawing your belly button down towards your spine. Gently drawing down to help engage your deeper abdominals. If you're aware of how to activate your pelvic floor, I want you to add that in as well. So we're lifting the pelvic floor as we draw our belly button down. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, have a look at our video on activating your deeper core muscles. Helps explain it. We're going to add in a rotation now. One shoulder stays down on the mat, the other shoulder lifts and rotates. So we're doing an oblique crunch. Roll back to the middle, rest the head and neck at the bottom, and then come up towards the other side. So you're coming up on a diagonal. Think about leading your elbow towards the opposite knee. Doesn't have to touch it, and we probably won't get anywhere near that, but it's coming up in that direction. One shoulder stays down. We use that to pivot off, rotating and twisting. Keep going with these muscles. We're going to add on in a second. Still focusing on lifting up high. So it's not just a rotation, we're still lifting up high. And what we've done, we've gone from using the muscles at the front of our trunk to also using the muscles at the side of your obliques. So that whole abdominal wall at the front. Think about engaging your deeper ones as well. Okay, good. I want to add in a leg boom. So as you come up, bring your opposite leg to tabletop. Just to tabletop. And then back down, then up to the other side. What I want you to focus on now is keeping your pelvis, so the back of the hip bones, keeping your pelvis level on the mat. So as the leg comes up and as we rotate, we don't get this big shift at the hips. we keep that weight level, still thinking about keeping your lower back down. It's all about the control in this exercise. We're not just going as hard as we can, we're not just going as fast as we can, we start with that control first. There's no point making the exercise harder if you can't control it where it is. Got a couple more here. On the other hand, if you are finding it easy, there's nothing wrong in making the exercise harder, challenging yourself, pushing yourself out a little bit to really increase your strength gains. 2 more. And last one. And rolling back down, resting the head down, resting the arms down. We're going to do some spine curls. I want you flattening your lower back, so I've got that tuck of the pelvis. From there, lift your hips up towards the roof, come up into a bridge. Glutes are working, so those bum muscles, they're working. Then we're going to roll down. Think about dropping your rib cage first, your middle back, your lower back, letting the pelvis roll forward. So we get a bit of an arch under our lower back here, and then we tuck back, we flatten the lower back, we've got our pelvis tucked and our tailbone tucked, and we lift up from there. Squeezing your bum at the top, and then rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Vertebrae by vertebrae, working your way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting back up. Let's do a couple more of those. Just want to teach that ability to control the spine the entire way, to control each joint as you roll up and down. Rather than just keeping the back straight and keeping everything stiff, we're working on the movement. So actually using our spine the way it's designed to bend and twist, to do all these activities, but to do it with control. When people normally bend over and pick something up, they're not controlling their spine. What we want to do is teach that control, so you're putting your back in a safe position when you bend, when you twist and do all those other movements. On this next one, I want you to lift up and hold, so the hips are up. Seeing how you go, I want you to try and straighten a leg away and then placing it back down the mat and then doing the same on the other side. If you're finding this too challenging, what you can do is just lift your heel up off the ground, or lift your whole foot an inch up off the ground and then back down. So you're kind of stepping side to side. If you feel like you're having trouble controlling it, stretching the leg out, just do a very small step, or even a little bit easier, just lifting your heel. What I want you to focus on is this level pelvis from one side to the other. We're not getting it dropping and rotating as the leg goes away. We're keeping that stable. Deep breathing. In through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. You'll feel those hip muscles working, your glutes hopefully supporting at the back of the pelvis. We're almost there. On this next one, stretch the leg out, hold it long, waving it up and down, keeping the hips lifted for 10 seconds, and we're swapping legs. Keep them up, feel that left leg working. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring the right leg down, we stretch the left leg away, keep the hips propped up, keep them level, we're waving up and down. Let's see that control at your pelvis, particularly keeping that left side up, keeping it lifted. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring your feet down, roll your spine and hug your knees to your chest. Just some small circles, releasing the hips. Well done, guys. Great job today. Continue this class for a few times throughout the week before you get to next week's class and jump onto that. But make sure you get through this one a few times to get all those benefits to continue to strengthen up. Well done. Have a great week. See you next week.